What's going on, everyone? Happy Tuesday to everyone. Hopefully everyone is doing well, staying safe, healthy. If you had to take a COVID test, hopefully you have tested negative. If you did test positive, I hope you have a full and speedy recovery with no long COVID issues. It is time now for the Tuesday edition of the Pandemic Update for Tuesday, September 17th, 2024. If you're new to my channel, welcome to my channel. This is where I do the daily pandemic update on all things COVID and any other virus that could be a health threat to you. Let's face it, COVID and a lot of other viruses are out there, and they can make you sick. COVID is a virus that did not go away. It did not end. In fact, we're on the downside of a large surge in the United States that lasted several months. There you go. See, COVID's been with us for a long time. It's been with us since 2020. People are still dying of COVID as well. And there are other viruses out there. RSV, flu, Mpox, measles, whooping cough. We've been talking about a lot of viruses lately here on the channel, and you need to be informed with each and every one of these viruses and know what's going on. Today, our main focus is going to be about COVID. It's going to be a little bit of a shorter pandemic update. I don't think we'll hit 20 minutes today. We may go over 15 minutes. But, yeah, let's go right into it. So if you're new to my channel, subscribe down below, give this a thumbs up, hit that notification bell, share this video with anyone you know, and leave your comments down below. Starting off today with just a couple news and observational pieces. First off, in New York State, Schenectady Mayor Gary McCarthy has tested positive for COVID-19 and is experiencing minor symptoms. His office announced on Monday. Of course, this is another case that will make it to my COVID positive archives. I may work on that this evening or tomorrow morning. Taking a look at this, we just had the Television Academy Emmy Awards over the past weekend, right? It was this past Sunday night. If you were watching it, I didn't really pay attention to it, but take a look at this. I've been seeing this making its rounds on X, and I find this really interesting. Vaccination and COVID testing requirements. Wait, what? Yes, there are requirements to enter the establishment, and it says all nominee, guests, and attendees seated in the nominee section are required to show proof of a negative COVID test upon arrival at the Microsoft Theater. And they talk about lab testing, PCR, LAMP, or NAAT type testing. So this is a really interesting. That's right. You must have a negative test to enter. Just goes to show you. They are in tune with what's going on, and they know COVID is still a big risk. Why can't the government just tell it as it is to everyone else that, hey, see what they're doing here? Really, we all should be doing it. And it's true. We all should be doing this for large events that take place anywhere in the world because it's the right thing to do. But, of course, testing's expensive. We don't have all the resources. As they say, quote, we have the tools. No, we're running low on the tools, and our tools are not very sharp, and they're becoming dull. All right. In Canada, Health Canada approves Moderna's COVID-19 vaccine targeting the latest variant at the time they were trying to make their decision, and this is going to be the KP.2 variant, so it's good news. Canada is approving Moderna's COVID-19 vaccine. Speaking of vaccines, Novavax released this statement today on X around lunchtime. And it says the updated Novavax COVID-19 vaccine is now available in thousands of locations across the U.S. You can use their interactive map, which is updated with locations regularly, to see where doses are stocked. This is fantastic. I retweeted this, and if I do a thread for today's video, I'll make sure I put it in there. All right, moving on to this. Speaking of vaccines yet again, observation from me today. In Jenkintown, PA, I was picking up a delivery for CVS, and I noticed there was a long line for people getting vaccinations. A few of them were masked, not many. Hopefully a sign that people are going out to get the new booster, perhaps even Novavax. And then I put, what are you seeing? And I did put a side note down here. I put, I should note, this tends to be a very busy CVS, and that is true. It's always a busy CVS, and it's one of the bigger locations. It formerly, before CVS, was a Barnes & Noble, and I did see only one employee masked there today, and it was one of the pharmacy people that I usually see there. She has gotten the prescriptions for me before when I go to do a delivery, and that person was masked, but didn't see any other employees masked. But I did see some customers masked today, just a few. So, observation for me, tell me down below, what are you seeing? Are you noticing an increase of people getting their boosters? Have you gotten your booster shot yet? Let me know down below. I'm sure there'll be a lot of comments when it comes in relation to boosters, and I know some people on here have already gotten their latest updated booster. Alright, let's take a look at what's going on with pollen levels for today. And we can see 42% of the country is in the medium status. Pollen levels are not terrible in the east because there is an onshore flow coming off of the Atlantic, and there is some rain in the Carolinas. All that combined together is keeping the pollen levels down, except for when you get to the Mid-South. The Mid-South U.S. is in the red still. Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, portions of New Mexico. You get the idea. There is still some problems there, even in Kansas as well. Still some problems. Taking a look at air qualities, not as bad now, but there are a few isolated areas. You can see New England is having some problems. Chicago, even portions of Pennsylvania are in the yellow. Florida as well. And still some problems on the west, but not as bad as it has been. In fact, it has improved significantly over the past few days. Want to learn more about the climate and weather? I do tweet on one of my other accounts on X, which is Climate Data Report. You can go check that out. I'll probably be doing some tweeting there tonight because things are getting interesting yet again for the Gulf of Mexico. And computer models are suggesting maybe another tropical system or even hurricane. Go over there to find out about that. Philadelphia yesterday, 855 EMS incidents were reported. And let's do a live looking at Montgomery County, which has been busy throughout much of the day today, and there are a few calls to be had right now. Cardiac emergency, there's one of them right now. There were a whole slew of cardiac emergency calls earlier today. Chester County, Pennsylvania, respiratory emergency is showing up a couple times, and sick person. Alright, I do need to refresh this, although I think it refreshed it by itself, or maybe I already did it. Pennsylvania today, in wastewater, some really good news. Now, we're not seeing a lot of drops. A lot of places that were rising are just saying no change. But we're only seeing one wastewater site on the Pennsylvania dashboard that is showing an increase at this time. And that is in East Stroudsburg, Monroe County, Pennsylvania. State College, if I had to guess, maybe you're probably showing no change right now, but you're coming up gray, so can't say what is actually going on there. And take a look at this. In southeast Pennsylvania, remember there were a bunch of gray sites for better part of about a week and a half? Well, those gray sites in Montgomery County, they just now took them off the map altogether. So I wish we did have some data for there. But the good news is, everywhere is, for the most part, no change. And in Chester County, Pennsylvania, the northern site of Westchester is now seeing a decrease. So that is some good news. Alright, in Canada, let's check on those viral activity levels. And the viral activity level in Canada for today, for COVID, is moderate. Flu A, Flu B, and RSV is low at this time. Alright, let's take a look at a few of those Walgreens COVID positivity levels. First off, we'll start off with the national level, which is at 26.2%. The prior week is 29.9%. Difference of down 3.7%. Total test, 10,996. The prior week was 10,030. And let's start off with California today. California currently is 25.9% positivity rate. The prior week was 32.4%. Difference of down 6.5%. Total tests, 379 versus 377. In Kansas this week, 24.5% positivity rate. The prior week was 29.8%. That's good news. It's down by 5.3%. Testing was up slightly, 94 versus 84. And it does appear overall more states did report this week than last week. Alabama, 16.9% positivity rate. And this is with testing down. This is a decrease of 14.8%. The prior week was 31.7%. Total test, 142 versus 161. But let's go somewhere that is red. Michigan, I think we did Michigan yesterday. We'll do it again. 33.9% positivity rate versus 30.5%. That's a difference of up 3.4%. Testing was up as well. 304 versus 197. Let's go over to Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania this week, 32.8% versus 36.7%. And that is down by 3.9% with testing up. 122 versus 109. So, yes, that's a legitimate drop. And you saw on wastewater, things are not trending upward anymore here in Pennsylvania. Georgia this week, 22% positivity rate versus 22.3%. That's down by 0.3%. Total tests, 473 versus 457. And let's go to Arizona. We have not talked about Arizona much lately. We'll end Walgreens on Arizona with a 24.7% positivity rate. That's down from 36.2% and down by 11.5%, a big drop. Total tests, 247 versus 221. That is some really good news. My friends, we are on the backside of this summer wave. Things will drop, but they're not dropping everywhere. And I'll show you why in just a moment. First off, let's go to New Jersey for today, where New Jersey reported 491 hospitalizations, 65 out of 70 hospitals reporting today, 10 people on a ventilator in the ICU at this time, 58, and discharges, 48 discharges at this time. Now, I said things are not dropping everywhere. New York State kind of did a little pause last week, and they're dropping. The latest update shows 1,120 people have tested positive on the most recent update. You can see here, the average, it's going back up a little bit again. I don't think this is going to last. I think it's probably just a result of back to school. And it's just going to be maybe this week, and then they go back down again. That's my expectation. Of course, we'll continue to follow this. But I do have to show you hospitalization, which did have a rise today. Starting off with the hospital admissions, you can see here, 476 hospital admissions. That's higher than last week at this time, where they had 416 on that Tuesday's report. And reminder, I'm saying Tuesday's report. This data lags back to the previous week. This is from multiple days ago. Taking a look, when we look at the hospitalizations in New York State, 1,149 with 117 people in the ICU. And we are going to take a look at different regions of New York State today. You can see here in the capital region, 71 people hospitalized, 5 people in the ICU. What are the hospital admissions doing there? Take a look at this. They had a slight rise. But now let's go to Western New York State. And this, you're going to see something quite surprising. Hospital admissions, they added 40. Take a look at that. The previous high for this wave was 37 back on August 12th, then 36 on September 3rd. But take a look at this. Current hospitalizations. Yes, Western New York. What's going on here? Western New York has the highest number of hospitalizations for this entire wave. Just kind of happened out of nowhere. I'm hoping they're going to resume dropping again tomorrow, but we'll have to see what happens. They did have several days of rising. This is just very random and out of nowhere. So again, 74 hospitalized, 7 people in the ICU in Western New York State versus 59 on last Friday's report and 5 in the ICU. But let's go to the most populated area of New York State. That would be New York City. And take a look here. Yes, New York City did see a rise for hospitalizations today. 326 people in the hospital, 35 people in the ICU. But look at hospital admissions in New York City. They didn't really change all that much. They went up by 133 versus 132 on this day last week. So that is encouraging. I don't think New York City is going to see a big rise. And I think if anything, what we're looking at here in New York State, within a week or two at the most, I think they will resume dropping again. Should that not happen, well, then we have to start investigating, find out just what is going on. But right now, I think this is probably because of back to school. All right, let's end today real quickly. Let's refresh this. Let's end today real quickly on just a look at national wastewater levels for COVID at this time. And you can see here on wastewater scan, a little bit of a wonky movement. But overall, since about a few weeks ago, things have started to drop for COVID. RSV may be in its early stages of a rise. It's at very low levels right now. It's hardly even being detected. Influenza A is showing a slight rise at this time. We'll keep an eye on that. And of course, influenza B as well. Everything else is not really much of a problem. Norovirus, I got my eyes on this as well. It is starting to rise, and I think we're going to probably see a wave of that coming around pretty soon. Remember last winter there was a wave of that, or was it back in the spring? It's possible that a norovirus wave does occur, and let's take a look here. I have this set for just norovirus only, and you can see here there are some high sites in California, Texas, Nebraska. So there are some places, Florida, down by Miami. So we'll have to keep an eye to see if the number of high norovirus sites does increase. And you know what? Let's also take a look at COVID. And you can see here, the vast majority of the country is still high. California has improved significantly. This is for COVID now. There's still some moderate sites, but there's a lot of lower sites now. That is some good news. Alrighty, folks, that does it for the Tuesday edition of the Pandemic Up. If you enjoyed this update, give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, subscribe down below, hit that notification bell, share this video with anyone you know, and leave your comments down below. Remember, if you're going out to get a booster, maybe you got the booster, or if you see an observation at your local pharmacy, let me know about it down below. I will see you all again next time. Until I see you again next time, stay safe, everyone, and have a fantastic Tuesday evening. Thanks for watching.